Welcome back to MDEV 2025. I am Ross here with some more MDEV creator conversations. This over here is Jennifer Javornik. She is at Filament Games, and I would love for you to introduce yourself a little bit more.
Sure. Hey, everyone. I'm Jennifer Javornik. I'm the Chief Partnerships Officer for Filament Games. We're a studio that makes games for positive impact. And I've been around there for 11 years, and we're based here in Madison, Wisconsin.
Super awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the WGA. As an outsider perspective, it seems like it seems to be volunteer run. Seems like it's about games. Give us a little bit of a closer look at how WGA works.
Sure. So WGA was formed in 2017. So we're coming up on 8 years, and we've always been a volunteer-led organization up into 2A. If you can believe it, this entire conference is actually completely managed by volunteers, which is really incredible. Over the years, we've gotten more formal in our processes. I think I was the second or third executive director, and it was still very informal. At this point, we are incorporated as a nonprofit trade association. We actually also have a formal board, and we follow board processes. And we all agreed a few years ago that we are going to pour most of our energy into MDEV, because MDEV really satisfied like the three major initiatives that we existed to be, which is let the world know about Wisconsin as a place for development, to grow and educate our people, and then to also just establish the Midwest as a viable place for games. So in addition to MDEV, we really let the board members decide which initiative they're passionate about leading. So personally, I've led a few initiatives that I felt really passionate about. For years, I co-chaired MDEV with Tim, so we really kicked it off, and it was really Tim Gerritson's idea. I then switched over to kind of being in charge of more of our networking and socials. At the start, we just did them in Madison, but now we do socials in Green Bay, Milwaukee, and Madison. And this year, I decided to take on leading the membership committee. So for the first time ever, it's just bugged me for so many years that we have this trade association, but we have no really formal way to count our members. And as we get bigger and want to apply for grants, it's really important to know like how many people are actually members. So I'm in a committee with two other people. The first thing was establishing what membership would look like. I think for us, it was really important to have a free membership, but also a paid membership, both at the individual and organizational level. And really, the membership was all set up because what we're rolling out next year is a democratic process to nominate and vote and elect board members, which we've never had before.
There we go. In addition to all the stuff that you've already mentioned, you also were the chief planner and executor of the MDEV red carpet. Is it a gala or the red carpet event at the Orpheum?
Jazz and I definitely wanted to call it a gala, and some people were like, I think that might be too much for the game dev community. Not everyone would be on board for a gala. So we ended up calling it MDEV: the kickoff event.
And it was wonderful.
Thank you.
It was a red carpet event. It was a choose your own adventure style.
Yes.
So people could dress up if they wanted.
Exactly. Well, it was funny because, I led the effort, but Jazz was super pumped about it. The other people on the MDEV committee were contributing. We really wanted an opportunity to dress up because there's not enough opportunities for that in Madison, but then we weren't sure if everyone was going to do it. So that's how we ended on this choose your own adventure. Like for those who want to dress up, you can dress up. For those who want to cosplay, make it happen. And if you just want to come in your hoodie, do it.
Totally awesome. Now, switching up a little bit. So your work at Filament Games, Filament is an educational-based gaming initiative or company. One thing I've noticed in the gaming sphere is that we're starting to see apps that are on the fun side like Focus Friend from the Nerdfighteria folks, or Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions, which is cozy, but then includes a task, a to-do list, and a Pomodoro timer, and a journal, and ways to self-regulate and be productive. From the perspective of a place like Filament, where do these fit, and how are these entering the industry and finding traction?
Yeah, thanks. Well, I think I love that they are hitting the mainstream, and it's very much in line with what we think about. Like, we consider ourselves a video game company just like every other video game company here. In addition, we additionally challenge ourselves that after the player plays the game, they need to have more knowledge, a different perspective, a behavior change. They need to be able to think differently, have a mindset shift. So I can really see why this genre of game has taken off, because they're using everything that we love about games and applying it to self-improvement. So essentially, the term we would use is sliding into the gamification realm, which is using things like play, incentive, rewards, streaks, but then also being very intentional about like creating an experience that feels safe, inviting, and motivating. So really what they're taking is the best of like behavioral science and kind of applying it in a game structure. And the point of a lot of those games is you don't think of this as like, okay, this is my self-improvement app, but this is a game that I look forward to playing, and also it's bringing me benefits in the real world.
I appreciate that insight. Now, being where you are and having done all the things you've done, could you give me just a 1,000-foot perspective of what gaming means for you nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's always been about play. Video games are one ways to play. Board games we play. I was a kid who was a triple threat: acting, singing, dancing, and I was a theater major, total jazz hands. So play has always been a part of my life. I think through play, even babies kind of are able to play well before that they're able to talk. We're just hardwires as human to play, and it's through play that we explore, we learn, but also that we connect with others. So I think video games are no different. Like, video games for me are like the opportunity to to actually do things. I think looking back at the pandemic, a lot of like my parent friends were concerned about how much time their kids were playing in games. And one thing I'd often throw back at them is like, we're in a world where we literally can't do anything. Like, we are just in our homes. We can't go to school. We can't go to the grocery store. Like, games are a way where you can actually go do things. You can go like battle a dragon, or you could go like, I don't know, explore outer space.
Yeah, I was trying to escape Hades several times unsuccessful, for sure.
Metaphorically, or
a little bit of both. Hades during the pandemic had both of those vibes, where you're like, wait, is this going to happen forever? And you're like, oh wait, the game is exploring that too. How about that?
Yeah. So I always think as games as like, so play is just important to us as humans, and games like kind of offer this type of like heightened, like it like touches our like need to explore, need to be a hero, need to investigate, but we can kind of do it in kind of a controlled space, like in a way, obviously we all can't just on Sunday morning wake up and decide we're going to go to battle, but you can do that in a video game.
Awesome. Now, video games create connections, but we sometimes need to give people a little bit of help to get there. Are there any projects, games, or resources that you think need a little bit more attention and you'd like to point people out to?
Oh, that's a great question.
I should have asked you about that before.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
I would have had a time to think about it. I mean, I'm going to pivot a bit from that question.
Sure.
I think I will say that I think what it brought up to me is, because I am a parent and because, I came not from the video game space, I'm often like pulled aside by parents to be like, are these video games actually good for them?
Let's talk about that. I had actually earlier this week, I had some people talk to me about like the destructive force of video games. And I was like, well, I'm going to a video game conference. Maybe I should come back with some suggestions for you. And I already had some.
Yeah.
But as an industry and as a parent, well, what are the ways or what are the guideposts that you are looking to set to introduce your child to games and expose your child to games? And were there any things that you were trying to keep as your kind of North Star to point towards when you were crafting and allowing gaming experiences for your children?
So first of all, I always say don't listen to me. Go look up the American Academy of Pediatrics, and they have very clear guidelines on screen times and like what's appropriate based on science, and that's what everyone should consult. I think it's more like parents are like, I don't play games, so it's like this thing my kid does and I don't really know, and I think they feel safe asking me because I'm also a mom, but I'm in the industry. I always say it's just like anything else. Like if, I grew up with TVs and my parents set limit on how much time I could watch TV. So it's the same thing. I don't think there's anything. I think video games are wonderful for so many reasons. The first advice I give parents, especially parents of younger kids when they're just starting to explore video games, is like, you need to, as a parent, you need to get interested in what your kids are interested. It's not always like, well, this is how I prefer to play or this is what I like to do, so come join me. There has to be some of that. But the best thing you could do if you have a kid who's starting to explore games is to play with them and play the games that they play. Just sit with them while they're playing and kind of create a habit, just like you would read a book together. Even though your kid can read by themselves, you still like sit time, because the idea of reading together is, we have so much research on how good that is. I apply the same model to video games, like play with your kids. And if you're not going to play with your kids all the time, then don't be frustrated at the dinner table when you ask them, well, how was your day? You literally you need to ask them about the things they're interested in. And that might be the game they're playing. And ask just smart questions, just like if they were reading a book and you were interested in asking them, what's happening? What are the characters like? You have to do the same thing about video games. Really just it's just another piece of media. So just get interested as if they were really interested in opera or in a book. You would ask them about it.
Who knows?
Horse dressage.
Yeah.
As parents, we all know that we sit and listen to things that we're innately not interested in, but we do it.
We parent the kids we have, not the kids that we thought we would have. And
exactly.
And part of that is having interest in whatever they're interested in. I know as a parent, one of the things that I politely requested is, if at the dinner table the discussion is going into the minutia of a particular game that you're interested in, maybe just lead with, in the game. Because if you're playing Risk of Rain 2 and you're talking about some sort of floating whatnot, just tell me that the thing that you're trying to talk about, or some deep mechanic in Starbound or whatever, just tell me the game first. Give me the arena that we're playing in, and that tends to help me a little bit. I know for introducing my kids to games, the ability to interact with controllers is something that people who game a lot take for granted, and so just the motor skills of not being able to understand what dual analog sticks do is totally a thing for new gamers. And so what I actually did to start out with, one of the things was we played Stardew Valley, but I was the farmer, and they would tell me what I would do that day.
Yeah,
and so we kind of did a collaborative play together of, do you want to go to the mines today? Do you want to say hi to Willie? Do you want to see the mayor? Do you want to go to the pub? And then it was let's do that. So then we would do exactly what they said. And while we're here, do you have any feelings about this? Do you like the outfit? And just having it be a collaborative experience. Really, collaborative play is where it's at. Be where your kid is. That's, I would
Absolutely.
say the
but
main
I also
things.
tell parents, you also have a right to be hey, we're going to go spend some time outside, or hey, let's go to the beach today, or hey, now we're going to read some books. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. And as early as possible, get your kids used to doing a whole variety of things, including playing video games.
Yeah, I would say well-rounded people are really the thing that we're probably hoping for when we're parenting our kids. And video games, as with everything else, should be in moderation and with touching grass occasionally, interacting with people, forging connections, both inside and outside of video games. Any other parting messages you wanted to provide?
I love this conference for so many reasons. I loved it when I think the first year there were 350 people, and I thought, wow, I can't believe 350 people showed up. And now it's grown. I think this year, I think Ben announced on the first day that we were at like 1,400.
Yeah, I thought we were at 1,400 or 1,500.
Yeah, which is amazing. I just love that. To me, what I love about it, it means like there's value here and people keep showing up. Like, I do not believe that we just keep getting, 1,500 new people every year. It's people who've come in the past, they see the value and come together. The other thing I love about this conference is everyone's from the Midwest, so everyone is so gosh darn nice.
We're not so bad.
It's like in terms of networking, like people are so friendly. I see very senior people, speaking to some very junior people, like just all the time. Like it's just, there's no hierarchy. There's not like a special den where the more experienced people are. Like everyone's kind of mixed up in this joyous thing called MDEV.
I mean, calling out the imposter syndrome, I am at best an unaffiliated casual who makes YouTube videos about indie games, and that is about as close as I get. Although I do want to say I was responsible for the French localization of the puzzle game Blockwick 2, so I technically do have a game credit. But yeah, regardless of the level, I've seen that this conference does seem to really work at breaking the barriers down and making just titans of industry available for connection and insight. And that has been something that has been really just transformative for me.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
So, love your kids, get stuff done, check out MDEV. This is Ross and Jennifer signing off.